now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Gerald Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is doing well. Hope all is well. Hope you had a safe weekend. Coming off the weekend, it's Monday. Hope everybody had a safe weekend. The weather was great here in Northwest Florida. Both days of the weekend, my understanding, the weather was excellent. I know a lot of people got out on the beach this weekend. I seen posts on the traffic going to the beach, but I hope you was responsible and did what you was supposed to do. But welcome back to the show. It's Monday Madness on the show today. We're talking about a few issues. I think I might piss some people off today, but you know, that's just how it goes when you're actually being truthful and honest about things. You tend to rub people the wrong way when you tell the truth about things. So we're going to see how it goes. Want to hear from you on Facebook. If you're listening on Facebook, do want to hear from you. Want to thank you for tuning in, as I do always in the beginning of my show. Want to thank all my listeners for tuning in. Thank everyone who has listened to the show, whether they listen every single night I'm on or whether they part-time, what have you. Want to thank you for tuning into the show. We're coming up on 3 years on the show. Coming up on 3 years, 3 whole years we've been doing this show. Started out 3 days a week, cut it down to 2 days a week. At about the 1 year mark, we cut it down to 2 days a week. But been going strong. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I have the greatest audience in the world. I tell everybody that, regardless of where I go, and I get good responses everywhere I go. If I go out in public, you know, especially here in town, if I go out in public, I always get someone that comes up to me and tell me they appreciate what I'm doing. And that's what it's all about, because this show is for you, about you, and of you. And I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for you, the ones that support the show, just by listening. I don't ask for solicit any funds, anything of that nature. So I just want you to listen, because I might say something that may benefit you at some point in time. But yeah, if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. Looks like Mrs. Rivers is on. Good to see you again tonight, Ms. Rivers. Thank you for tuning in. So we are WPMM Radio under the guidance of Change and Rise Media Group, LLC. We are WPMM. We play more music, the best in R&B, jazz, soul, neo soul, independent hip hop, and old school music. You can listen to the WPMM from the website at WPMMradio.com. Also in TuneIn, and we're on iTunes. Also, you can tell Alexa to play WPMM. She will oblige as well. You can go to the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, and download the app. It's a free app. You can go to the website and download that app as well. Just type in WPMM. It'll pull up. We're also live on Facebook. I think our Twitter, I'm going to have to check on our Twitter. I think they tried to kick us off Twitter, but still might be on Twitter. It's probably something I said. We're on YouTube as well, and Twitch. So that's just about anywhere you can get streaming, any platform, we're there. Also, if you have someone who may not be tech savvy, just text them WPMMradio.com in the text message. All they have to do is hit the link, hit play, and they can listen to the show as well. So once again, let's go ahead and share. If you are on Facebook, go ahead and share. With the topics tonight, I want to get many people on as possible and get many different viewpoints, if you will, because I know, again, I'm gonna piss some people off, especially my religious family. But I got to tell the truth. I have to tell the truth, and I have to tell it how it is. And some people like it, some people may not, but say it anyway. Which leads me to the views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to align with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anything. All right, now that we have that out the way, Once again, thank you for tuning in on Monday Madness. Monday Madness, I call it Monday Madness because every Monday there's something that done went down. Things have happened, and this world is pretty much full of chaos right now. And Monday Madness was just the appropriate title for Monday's show. And on today's show, prayer in schools. And here's what was supposed to happen today, and I was trying to get it worked out. Unfortunately, it did not work out the way I thought it would be. I thought I was going to be doing a show on today's topic was supposed to be on classroom behaviors. I was supposed to have some educators to come in on the show today and let you hear directly from the front line, if you will, because these educators, administrators are in the schools and they see what's happening every day, and they get the reactions from the students, they get the reactions from the parents, whatnot. And I was trying to get that show together, but it did not come together like I wanted it to. And so we're going to table that show. I'm still trying to get these educators on to talk about, even though we're coming to the end of the school year, but it's never the wrong time to talk about the behavior of our children in our schools and talk about the plight of our schools as well, because our kids spend the bulk of their adolescence in school, from the age of typically the age of 5 until about 18. They spend it in school, where the teachers at school see our kids pretty much more than we do on a daily basis during school year. So, but we're going to table that show for another day. I will keep you posted on that again, get those educators in here to talk about the situation, because it's an important, very important subject, especially in today's climate, if you will. But today, prayer in schools. We will be talking about schools here in a little bit today without the educators, but I want to specifically pinpoint the prayer aspect of things in our schools. Does prayer work in our schools? Will prayer change anything in regards to the behaviors and the activities that is currently going on in our schools? We want to dive into that, and I want to hear from you on that as well. And that, that kind of goes along with the classroom behavior. Is putting prayer back in school going to change what we're seeing on a daily basis in that aspect? Also, we're going to talk about today the scaring. I was somewhat bothered with our Escambia County Sheriff Department, and I really want to talk to Mr. Chip Simmons about this. The Sheriff Chip Simmons. I really want to talk to him about this issue. He may be listening tonight. He may not, but if he is listening, this is a concern of mine that I'm not seeing equality here, and I'm seeing a bias, and I'm not cool with that. So we're going to talk about their Facebook page. Seems like there's a bias on their Facebook page, and I'll go into that here a little bit more here in a moment. Also, you wouldn't know it, but it seemed like the news cycle is keeping it quiet. But the orange idiot, some of you may call him Donald Trump, he is actually going on trial tomorrow. His trial, the civil trial in the rape of E. Jean Carroll, starts tomorrow. And this has not, from what I've seen in the news cycle, it is not something that's in the news cycle today. It is. I haven't been attached to the news today, but the time period that I was attached, I hadn't seen anything on this trial that's starting tomorrow, where the former president of the United States is going on a civil trial for rape of E. Jean Carroll. We'll talk about the details of that here coming up soon here. Also, speaking about kids in Texas, there was a shooting where 9 people were injured after a prom in Texas, which is a sad situation. We'll talk about that as well. And then obviously the news of the day, Tucker Carlson has parted. Fox News and Tucker Carlson have parted ways. At the same time, CNN has gotten rid of or fired or what have you. Mr. Don Lemon may touch on that a little bit. Also, with the the election coming up here in another couple of years, uh, actually, it's going to take place November 2023. So we're about a little over a year and a half out of the next election, and the Republican Party, the best they have is the orange idiot and dumbass DeSantis, which is frightening. Which is frightening that those are the two that are getting the support in the Republican Party. We do have this idiot Tim Scott. If you don't know who he is, he's the only black Republican senator currently in the Senate. We'll talk about him here in a minute, but he is in the running as well. He's not polling well. He's only polling at about 3%, but we'll talk about him as well. So I do want to hear from you. I'm not taking calls today, but you can chime in on Facebook. Facebook in the comment section. Just drop your comment into the comment section, and I would definitely read your comment and bring you into the conversation. So please do. Please do. I want to hear from you. And again, if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. But let's talk about the prayer in schools. Prayer in schools. We know that there was a uproar amongst the evangelicals and the religious community when they took prayer out of school. And it was, everybody has their opinion on that particular issue. I don't think there's a right or a wrong, if you will, when it comes to that. But here's my take on this situation, and I know I said I was going to piss some people off, and I know I'm pissing people off. Me personally, I just don't believe that in the climate that we are in today, with the state of our youth at this point, I don't believe that putting prayer back in schools is going to solve or resolve the issues that are going on with the activities that we're having in school, particularly with the behaviors of the students. I don't think prayer is going to make a difference in the world. And at the same time, when we're talking about prayer, if there is a prayer said in school, it's a Christian prayer. And I know there's a lot of Christians out there listening. I know there's a lot of people in the Baptist community, whatever, the Christian community that's listening. But when you look at religions, what make Christianity above any other religion? Uh-oh. Did Gerald say that out loud? Yes, he did. He said it out loud. I'm going to say it again. What make Christianity above the other religions? That's a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question to ask. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm an atheist or this, that, and other. I grew up in the Baptist community, in the Baptist religion. Mr. John Adams, what's going on, buddy? Well, good to see you on this evening, sir. Talking about prayer in schools. Talking about prayer in schools. But I'm one of those who believe in a higher power, if you will. I am spiritual, but I'm not a religious fanatic. So putting prayer in schools is going to put it back into a situation where there's a Christian prayer being said. We see it all, we see the Christianity part throughout things in the United States, even on our money. in God we trust, or whatever the case may be. And every time something happens in the United States, is let's pray for this and let's pray for that. Uh, Even though you're supposed to have separation of church and state, which is, you know, to me a farce, if you will, because people bring their religious faith and their religious beliefs into politics. So we don't necessarily have a separation of church and state. But as far as schools go, who 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 thinks that putting prayer in schools is going to resolve the issues that we have in school? Who thinks that it's going to make a difference? And at the same time, like I say, there are many different religions. Um, and I'm not a religious scholar or anything, of that nature. But I know that there's more than Christianity out there. I know that there's different religions, different beliefs, whatnot. So, what makes it right for the Christian community to push a Christian prayer onto people who are not Christian? What what rights do the non-Christian people have when it comes to this? And it'll be a situation where if you have a kid that to where if they're praying and the prayer might come over the overhead, if you will, the loudspeaker. That person may not want to hear that Christian prayer. That person may not believe in that Christian prayer, whatever, what have you. So why force that Christian prayer onto that student who don't practice the Christian faith? And I'm saying that again as a person who is spiritual. Again, I'm not a religious fanatic, but I am spiritual. Uh, I don't necessarily believe in that one religion is better than the next religion. I can adopt and adapt to practices of just about everyone's religion. Uh, so therefore, if I may put myself in the category as a Christian or in the category as a Baptist or what have you, but I still I can listen to other people's faith and their religious beliefs, and I can adapt to those beliefs and understand those beliefs. And at the same time, I may not be able to adapt to all or vice versa. So, putting prayer back in school, what would that resolve? And I'm asking that question, an open question. I'm not that's not my opinion, or I'm not saying it wouldn't resolve anything. I'm asking you guys, what would that resolve? Um, Mr. John put a comment in. He says that is a good point about the students that are non-Christians. So when a Muslim student has to pray 5 times a day, 5 times a day, a time to pray, I still have. Yeah, like for instance, if you're going to put Christian prayer in there, the Muslims do their I think it's called salat, if you will. Um, they have what they call salat, and that salat they it's certain times of the day where they go and they face the east, I believe it is, and they do their prayer, whatever. Are you going to allow those kids when they're in class to go and make salat when it's that time? For other religions, the whatever, are you going to allow them the same advantage as you doing the Christians in school? And then at the same time, yeah, bear with me. At the same time, if you do allow the prayer back in schools, do you think it's going to make a difference in the behavior of our children? Do you think it's going to make a difference, especially at school? Do you think it's going to make a difference? And I'm asking that question for a reason because we have these students that are coming from quote unquote Christian homes, uh, and those same students that are coming from the Christian homes that their parents may be praying. They, I'm sorry, they may be praying at home. Their parents may be going to a Christian church or what have you, and they're praying at church, and then they get to school and act a fool. So if prayer is already going on around these kids that are cutting up in class, is putting prayer in schools gonna make a difference? I'm asking the question. I'm asking the question. I personally don't believe, and this is just my opinion. I personally don't believe that a difference would be made uh, with prayer in schools. And at the same time, I believe that if we do put prayer back in schools, that we are infringing on non-Christians. We're infringing on their rights. We are forcing something on our non-Christians that if it was vice versa, and we, for instance, if the Muslim community came in and said, well, we need to institute the Muslim prayer and the 5 times a day to make salat, we need to implement that in our schools or whatever, and we need to make everybody participate in it, there would be an uproar. There would be an uproar if that was to take place. So once again, why is the Christian faith put above all the other religious beliefs? Legitimate question. So somebody out there give me an answer. I know Mr. John, you out there. I know you have a opinion. Um, I'm trying to actually look up something just to kind of give you an indication. Because again, I'm not a religious scholar. And what I was looking for is how many religions are there out there? And the first thing I pull up, and they are saying, as far as in religions in the world, they saying the number exceeds 4,000. Uh, the most widely recognized religions are Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Those are the most notable ones. So, just with those five, that gives you a large demographic or diverse group of religions in itself. And I guarantee you, there's a members of each one of those religions that are in every single school. So, do we force those kids that don't practice Christianity to listen to Christian prayer every day? I don't think it's right. I think if you're going to institute a religious belief or a prayer or anything that deals with a God or a faith or what have you, that should be it done at home and that should be done at church. That's my opinion. That's my thought process on that. I don't think school is a place unless you are going to a private school where the objective of that private school is to teach a specific religion, which if that's the case, then that private school, you are opting to go to a school that teaches a particular religion. So you're making a choice. In public schools, you don't have that choice. Mr. Adams said, I just meant to say, don't end up like Tucker Carlson and get fired from the first thing. Tucker Carlson. That's one of the topics we'll reach today. But here's the thing: Tucker Carlson just be spitting that bull crap. He just spit propaganda. We talk about real stuff on here. We don't talk about stuff that's made up. So, but what say you? What say you? Should do you think prayer should be put back in schools? And if you do think prayer should go back in school, do you think it's going to make a difference in the behavior of our young people that are currently in school? And do you think that uh, uh, a person who do not practice the Christian faith should be forced to listen to a Christian prayer? Drop your comments in the comment section on Facebook, if you will. Drop your comment there on that particular topic, and we're gonna move on. I just wanted to say that again. I know I probably done pissed off some religious people, some church folks, but I can't stop you from being pissed off, because I'm not gonna stop saying what I gotta say. Y'all should know that by now. It's 3 years, almost 3 years coming up. I've been saying what I want to say when I want to say it, so I don't hold back. So for anybody that has a problem with what I said, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. I'll bring you on the show. We can talk about it on the show. I'd be more than happy to do it. We can debate and we can throw ideas back and forth. But in the end, I'm gonna still love you, even though we may disagree. But we can always agree to disagree. And I'll give you my take on it, and you give me yours, as long as you ain't pushing that bull crap. Because I don't deal well in bull crap. Call you out on bull crap. But anyway, let's move on. Let's see what else is going on that with Escambia County Sheriff Department. The Escambia County Sheriff Department. I'm getting a little irritated. Chip, somebody out there, and Chip, he'll tend to he'll peek in on the show from time to time to see what I'm saying about him. But I'm talking about you tonight, Chip. If you wonder who I'm talking about, Chip Simmons, the sheriff at the Pensacola, the Escambia County Sheriff Office. I got a problem that seems to be brewing, and probably people hadn't recognized it, but I recognized it. And we're going to put it out there for debate. And I want Mr. Sheriff Simmons to come and talk to me about it. The Escambia County Sheriff Department has a Facebook page, and on their Facebook page they have this thing called Happening Now. And what they this Happening Now segment on their Facebook page, they actually post pictures and those snippets of situations that has happened, that is going on currently within the sheriff department, as far as arrests and things of that nature. I went back and scrolled through their page. I went back over the time period of hello, my wife. She's over here trying to talk to me here. She see I'm on there. Okay. But anyway, Escambia County Sheriff Department has a I apologize for that interruption there. But Escambia County Sheriff Department, as I was saying, Facebook page. And I went back and viewed their Facebook page going back to the beginning of March. And I viewed all their posts about different arrests and whatnot. And I started to see a disturbing trend. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just dreaming up something. I wanted to be sure I just wasn't dreaming up something. And, so what I did, I went to the jail view. Because Escambia County got a jail view where it lists everybody that got arrested. And as soon as you pull it up, it gives you the list of the people that has been arrested, I think, in like the last 24 hours or 48 hours. And I'm looking through the jail view and I'm seeing a lot of people of the Caucasian persuasion, if you will, that has been arrested. And I'm seeing, a black person thrown in here and there, here and there, here and there. Um, but the majority of people that I'm seeing in jail view that are getting arrested are white, Caucasian. Then I go back to the Facebook page again. I scrolled all the way back until the 1st of March. And they have profiled probably, I don't have the exact number. They have profiled probably, we'll say 20 arrests that they have profiled, 20 arrests. Out of that 20 arrests, I seen 4 white people, and 2 of them were arrested for the same incident. It was a male and a female that were involved in the same incident. They were arrested. So that was one post, but 2 people, and then the other post had 2 white people. I mean, it was so a total of 4 white people, and I'm estimating because I didn't count exactly the number, but we'll say 20 arrests. Out of 20 arrests, 4 of those were white, and the rest of them was black. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, in my eyes, that is showing a bias. And if nobody else can see it, I have to question your integrity and your ability to just understand what is going on in that situation. So it seemed to be a bias on their Facebook page where they're solely posting the black individuals that are being arrested and not posting the white individuals. And the jail view is they don't have a choice. That as far as everybody that comes through the system has to be booked in, and it goes on the jail view site, if you will. But on the Facebook page, and we'll throw the number 20 out there. Out of 20 arrests or 20 profiles, only 4 of those are white. So that means 16 black people, 4 white. But on the jail view, it's flipped. For every probably 4 white people, there's 1 black person being arrested. So to me, there's an implicit bias there, to where they're only going to highlight. But social media is more people look at social media than they do jail view. Way more people look at social media than they do jail view. So to me, there's an implicit bias to where there's seem to be just highlighting black people in their arrests here in Escambia County and dealing with the sheriff department, and that doesn't sit well with me. If there's a legitimate reason for that, I want to hear it. I want to hear from Sheriff Simmons directly, or someone who represents him, as to why mainly only black people are being profiled on their Facebook page when it comes to arrests, but more white people are being arrested than black people in Escambia County. So men, Chip, we have pretty good relationship going on. For those who don't know, I had Chip on the show shortly after he won the election in regards to being a sheriff. He came on the show and we talked about issues or what have you. And one of the things that we talked about was this particular bias, this systemic racial bias when it comes to our police and our sheriff departments. I didn't want to see that, and I would be remiss if I did not call that out or notice or be. I'm gonna use the term woke, as Governor DeSantis always says. If I wasn't woke enough to realize that there's a bias there, so if there's a bias, I'm going to bring it to you when we'll talk about it. But I really do want to know what's going on in regards to that. I don't. I'm not saying that people who get arrested. I'm not saying it should not be profiled because it's anytime somebody gets arrested, it is public information, it's news. But black people aren't the only one getting arrested, and that Facebook page gives that implicit bias that shows that black people are the only ones out there that are committing acts that require an arrest. Again, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty in some communities. We know that in the black community, the situation is you are guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. That's just the stigma and the reality of what's going on in the black community when it comes to our judicial system, if you will. So, but Mr. Sheriff Simmons, hit me up. Hit me up. I would love to talk to you about this situation. Or I want to see some. I want to see that there are white people on your Facebook page that are getting arrested because it shows in jail view that the majority of people being arrested are white. So that should reflect on your social media as well. So let's see where we at. Moving on. If you're just joining us, this is Monday Madness here on the Truth with G, right here on WPMM. Again, thank you for joining us. If you want to drop your comment into the comment section on Facebook, feel free. We'll definitely read your comment and get it on the air. Next thing, and this is huge, and I don't understand why people are not more aware or why the news cycle is not. This story should be everywhere. The Orange Idiot. The Orange Idiot is going on trial tomorrow, Tuesday. He is going on trial, a civil trial, because the criminal statute of limitations has run out on this particular crime, if you will. So he can't be brought up on criminal charges, but he's being sued civilly for the rape of E. Jean Carroll, which took place in 1994 at a department store, according to what's being alleged. This came out years ago prior to the election. I think it came out prior to the election. Also keep in mind, there are 20 plus women. I'm going to say that again. There are 20 plus women who have accused the Orange Idiot of rape or sexual assault. And this is the person that people have supported and are supporting to be the president of the United States. And even now that he is going on trial for the rape of E, her name is E, the letter E, Jean, Jean Carroll. And just to give you a little background on that, I'll go ahead and give you the background on this particular story. And this is coming from more Politico. Politico is a good source of information if you ever want to get news on what's going on around you, especially in the world of politics. Politico is a great source of information. But anyway, in New York, less than a month after being indicted on charges related to hush money payments to a porn star, again, in this demand, you want to be your president. Dumbasses. But anyway, former president, the Orange Idiot, is about to stand trial in a civil lawsuit from a magazine columnist who said he raped her decades ago. E. Jean Carroll, longtime columnist for Elle magazine, says Trump attacked her in a dressing room of a luxury department store in the 1990s and sexually assaulted her. A claim Trump denies, saying the incident never happened. On Tuesday, jury selection is scheduled to begin in Manhattan Federal Court in the Manhattan Federal Court trial. So the case is a civil and not a criminal, meaning there is no threat of jail time. The former president, the stakes are nonetheless high. If Carroll wins, it would be the first time Trump will be held legally responsible for sexual assault, despite dozens of women who have accused him of the crime and other sexual misconduct. The jury could order Trump to pay Carroll financial award. That one legal expert could be many millions of dollars. Carroll is seeking monetary damages, but have not specified the amount. Um, this trial is also risky for Carroll, who must convince a jury to believe her accusations against the incredible high-profile defendant for an incident that allegedly occurred nearly 30 years ago and lacked that eyewitness. Um, I hate they put that statement in there because that just makes women think that 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 right there just gives women a reason not to come forward when they have been assaulted. And we know that there's a lot of sexual assaults that go unreported because women don't believe that they will be believed in what they're saying. Um, I said, of course, a civil verdict against Trump would add to his avalanche of legal troubles as he is seeking to regain the presidency while under indictment, and in a unrelated case is facing the possibility of additional criminal charges and several other investigations. The trial is also risky for Carroll, who must convince the jury uh, against a high-profile defendant for an incident that occurred 30 years ago. And according to Carroll, one night, late 1995, early 1996, she bumped into Trump while she was leaving Bergdorf Goodman, which is a high-end department store. He recognized her, she said, because he met her once before, had long trouble in the same New York media circles, telling her that he was at the store to buy a present for a girl. Trump asked Carroll for advice. And after the two discussed a few ideas, Trump suggested visiting the lingerie department, according to the lawsuit. There on the counter, they saw lilac gray see-through bodysuit, and the two teased each other about which one of them should try it on. The lawsuit said, according to Carroll, Trump then grabbed her arm, maneuvered her to the dressing room, closed the door. Then there were no attendants or other shoppers nearby, Carroll said. Once inside the dressing room, Trump pushed her against the wall, bumping her head and putting his mouth on her lips. According to Carroll, after she pushed him back, he said he seized both of her arms, pushed her again, and then jammed his hand under her coat dress and pulled down her tights. After unzipping his pants, Trump then pushed his fingers around Carroll's uh, genitals and forced his penis inside of her, according to the lawsuit. After breaking free by raising her knee and pushing him off, he said she ran out of Bergdorf and immediately called a friend named Lisa Burback and told her about the incident. He raped you, Burbach said, according to E.G. and Carroll. Burbach encouraged her to call the police. Still in shock, reluctant to think herself as a rape victim, Carroll did not want to speak to the police about the loss, uh, to speak to police about the assault. Several days later, Carroll says she disclosed the events to another friend. Um, Carroll's attorneys have indicated that they likely will call both Burbach and Martin to testify. Both women backed up her account. in the media shortly after Carol went public in 2019. So that describes an act to where Trump should be underneath somebody's jail. Again, it was a situation where this young lady is claiming that it happened. If it didn't happen, what what would what would this young lady have to gain? It took place in 94, 95, somewhere in there. 95, 96, it says. What does she have to gain by making up a lie that took place 30 years ago? That would be my way of looking at it. Why would she put herself in a situation? And um, this is not a crackhead or someone who um, uneducated or whatnot. This is a journalist. This is a journalist, a educated journalist in this situation. So I can see where she would be quiet about the situation. Unfortunately, because women don't have a voice a lot of times when something like this happens. So I can see her being quiet about it. And also with the fact that there are 20 plus women who have made similar accusations against the orange idiot. And a lot of times you give the perpetrator the benefit of the doubt based on just simply based on how many accusations has been thrown at the person, at the suspect, if you will. Not one if you have one person saying somebody did something, and there's no physical evidence that's remaining, there's no eyewitness or what have you. You kind of go back and forth, and you just try to debate on the credibility of the two people that were involved, because you have one person's story, you have the other person's story, you have the truth. But when you get two people saying the same thing about the one person, you get three people saying things about one person, five people saying the same thing about the one person. Now you're beginning to think, why are all these people saying the same, giving a similar story and the same thing about the same type of behavior? And you get up to 22. Anybody with common sense, once you get up to 22 women who has nothing to gain, only to have their name slandered, if you will. You get up to 22 women, you have to believe that there's some belief, there's some truth in their accusations. Even though everybody is afforded due process in this game, if you will, in the judicial system, everybody's due process, and they have the right to go before a jury of their peers and have their story told, and have that jury decides who is more credible. But when you have 20 plus women saying the same thing about the same type of incident, you have to use your common sense in saying this man is a rapist. This man is a serial rapist. Which leads me to, well, like I said, this trial starts tomorrow. Trial starts tomorrow. And the news cycle is not being talked about in the news cycle. So which leads me to Trump supporters. He has put his name back in the pot, in the hat for to run for president again. And the sad part is we have people that are still supporting this foolishness. You have 20 plus women that have accused this man of rape or sexual assault. He is currently indicted over paying He's under a 34 charge criminal indictment over paying a porn star to hush money to not say anything about his extracurricular activities, so to where it wouldn't hurt his chances to be elected president of the United States. He's on a 34 charge indictment, which that trial is going to start soon. He's going to trial for rape starting tomorrow. The Fannie Willis in Georgia just announced that by July, that charges basically are imminent, and the election fraud trial, election fraud charges that are being brought in the state of Georgia. Uh, you have history of this man being racist, doing racist acts. He won't rent to black people. He won't let black people count his money, as he said. He's been sued before. Him and his father been sued before for racism when it comes to property management, if you will. But we still have people that are out there supporting this foolishness. What is wrong with you people? How stupid can you be? How where are you at as a human being when you think that someone with this track record, a rapist, and that's the worst of his crimes. Because I don't agree with any type of rape of anyone. I think that's a heinous crime. In a lot of ways, I think that crime is worse than murder, because in murder, if someone does you wrong in regards to murder, unfortunately, your life is gone, but you don't have to live with the torture and the memory of somebody trying to kill you. But in the rape situations, that rape victim has to go on the rest of their life and try to deal with the fact that they were violated, whether somebody they know or somebody they don't know, that they were violated, that their personal space was violated, their own bodies were not, they didn't have control over what happened to their own body, and that they have to live with that for the rest of their life. And 9 times out of 10, that rapist, the person that raped them, they may go to jail, but at some point in time, that rapist is going to walk. Some point in time, and I forgot the exact number as far as statistics go, but I think it's somewhere around 35-40% of anybody that goes into prison comes out. You only have a certain percentage of lifers. You only have a certain percentage of people on death penalty, but I think I misquoted. It's a higher percentage. I want to say it's 65-70% of people who go in prison will walk out. So that rapist will walk out of prison one day. And that rapist will probably go back to the same neighborhood, back to the same environment, back around the people that they violated. And they have to see their rapist. Some of these people were impregnated by their rapists. And we have legislation out there that's trying to stop anyone, children on up, from getting an abortion, from the person that raped, as far as carrying the baby of the person that raped them. They're being forced to carry that child, and they're being forced to look at that child every day and say, and see their rapist. So I said all that to say this, rape is a heinous crime. The orange idiot Donald Trump has been accused 20 plus times of rape or sexual assault, and we still have dumbass people out there that are willing to support this man and vote for this man to be the president of the United States. That's just sickening. That's sad. And if you're one of those people who vote for Trump, you're a sick individual. You are a trifling, sick, demented individual. You have no sense of reality, no sense of decency. If you're going to vote someone like that to be the president of the United States, if you're going to support someone with that character to be the president of the United States, you need to reevaluate your own life because something is definitely wrong with you. That's my take. What else going on that we need to talk about real quick? We know that Tucker Carlson, and I'm sorry, let me get back on the Trump thing. This Trump has been 20, 22, I think is the number is 22 women have accused him of rape. If you guys remember a few years back, Al Franken was in the House, if you will. He was a House representative. Al Franklin. He was, if you want to know who he is, he's a former actor, comedian, if you will. He had left the entertainment world and joined the political world, and he was a member of the House. He posted a picture where he was still a comedian, if you will. He posted a picture that was supposed to have been lighthearted, that was supposed to have been a joke, if you will, where he held his hands over the breast. Not that he was touching the woman's breast, because he wasn't touching them, but there was a picture where he just put his hands up. And if you're looking at me, he just put his hands up like this in front of her breast. He didn't grope her, he didn't touch her, whatever. And when that picture came to light, the he was a Democratic congressman. The Democrats thought that that was behavior that was uh, not appropriate for a U.S. congressman, and he was forced out for a picture, a lighthearted picture that was done in jest. He was forced out. But we have sick individuals that are still supporting the orange idiot, Donald Trump, after 22 women has accused him of rape and sexual assault, and he's going on trial starting tomorrow for the rape of E. Jean Carroll. And we still have dumbasses out there that is willing to vote for this man to be president of the United States again. There are some sick individuals. But anyway, getting irritated. Now it's time for me to get off. I want to thank you guys for joining me here today. It's been this hour just kind of flew by today. But I want to thank you for joining me right here on The Truth with G. Um, there's still some other stories that I wanted to get to. There was a real quick. There was a shooting in Texas where 9 teenagers were wounded, if you will. I hate to use that word, but you use that word in war time where they get wounded, but let's say injured. But after at a prom in Texas, we're going to talk about that more on Thursday because we know we have proms going on here locally. Um, but yeah, nine kids were shot that and sustained injuries at an after prom party in Texas, and this is where our children are. This is the plight of our kids. This is where we are, to where we can't even trust our kids to go to a prom or go to an after party of a prom. We just had a situation a couple weeks ago in Alabama at a Sweet 16 party where gunfire erupted at this Sweet 16 party where we had 4 individuals to die, and we had 30 plus people that were injured in this shooting where there's 6 individuals that probably shooting back and forth at each other at this party and didn't care who was in the crossfire. This is where we are with our youth. So that's why I keep focusing on our young people. That's why I want to get these educators in. And as I said in the beginning of the show, I was supposed to have the educators on the show today, but I want to get these educators in here to talk about what they see on a daily basis in our schools, and talk about solution. Talk about what is the problem. Why are our kids acting this way? Why are they coming to school and being disruptive? We're trying to get to the root of the problem. We're not trying to just point fingers at people and say you're doing bad, you're doing bad. We're trying to get resolutions. We're trying to get to a point to where we can recognize and then put sources and tools in place to rectify this problem. So, but again, it is time for me to get out of here. I want to thank you for joining me this evening. Join me once again on Thursday night, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on WPMM Internet Radio. Make sure you join me. In the meantime, y'all stay safe. Be responsible. Do the things you're supposed to do. Don't do anything you ain't supposed to be doing. Because I want to see you on the other side. I don't want to see you end up in the hospital, in jail, or in a grave. I promise you I don't. So be responsible in what you do. Take care of each other. Until Thursday, you guys be blessed. Be safe. And I am out of here.